as always, Ted, kick us off. Who do you have as your winner of the weekend?
Easiest winner to pick ever. OU softball.
Oh, it's softball season, baby.
Can't wait. I love it. We've got an unbelievable team. We have the best offense. If it could be any better than it was a year ago, I think it is. And we've got perhaps the best pitching staff in all of softball. This team's an absolute juggernaut. Go through the weekend, only give up 1 run. The opener was a a perfect game pitched by the pitching staff. And first at bat of the season, Tiare Jennings blasts a home run just like she did last year. Pretty amazing stuff from this group. The young Jordy Bahl is amazing, true freshman, and she is just lights out. Had a really good, I think she threw 3 innings or 2 3/4, something like 2 2/3 in the opener, and then came back and struck out 14 against UCLA, number 3 team in the country. Pretty impressive stuff.
7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 3 walks, 14 strikeouts. True freshman.
True freshman, second outing against number 3 team in the country. How about that?
I guess if you're looking to criticize her, you could say, hey, maybe a few too many illegal pitches early there in the game. You know, she was getting little hop action. You know, it happens when you're fired up, I suppose.
You got to push the boundary. That stuff is not always called either. It's one of those, sometimes it is, sometimes it's not, but I love it. She is an excellent athlete. Gabe, I have witnessed Jordy Bahl at, I don't know, I don't even want to guess how much she weighs, but
don't do that. That's not going to. Yeah, don't do that.
But I don't have to guess it this way because I witnessed it firsthand. I saw her power clean 220 pounds.
Excuse me, what did wait,
yeah.
wait, yes. Hold on. You got to tell the story now because I'm not.
Yeah.
You throw 220 on the bar right now. I'm telling you right now, I can still power clean it. It's not going to feel very good for me. I haven't power cleaned since I played. I probably wouldn't have a good time. The wrists would probably be like, what are we doing? We're back to doing this. And you're telling me this, what is she, 18, 19-year-old?
This would have been like last August before school even started. So yeah, like 18, she just got to town, and like, I don't know if like the school's gym stuff wasn't open or what, but she came into the gym where I was at, and I was like, I didn't know who she was at first. And I was like watching her, and I was like, oh my God, because she's not big, right? She's not big. And someone asked her like if she does something at OU, and she's like, I play softball. I was like, I know exactly who that is. Yeah, she is an excellent athlete. Very, very strong, very powerful.
Okay.
Impressive.
I am going to power clean 220 this week, and I'm only sending you a video of it. I just need to prove to myself I can still do it.
No injuries. You made it. How about you made it through snow skiing to only get injured power cleaning 220?
Skiing's pretty fun, man.
It's great, isn't it?
And I did not listen to your advice. Skied Ajax and Highlands.
Oh, that's good. You must have got it down pretty good then.
I felt pretty good the second day. So went Saturday and then so Saturday was like a full day of skiing, like a little too much for me, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
And was experimenting with some stuff like later in the day, start some parallel turning, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Start really getting the groove. I think total on Saturday fell 7 times total. So I was
That's
like,
not bad.
But soft falls, all soft falls where I was like, okay, I'm going down.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Sunday,
Don't fight it. Just don't try and catch yourself. Just go down.
nope, just it's like getting rolled up in a pile. That's what I compared it to. Like guys on the back of my legs. Oh, I'm limp and I'm down. Yeah, just no tension. There I go. But Saturday, like 4 runs on what I were told are solid blues. I don't know what that means. I'm gonna choose to believe that that's good. I know it's not, but that's okay. It was my second day of skiing ever. People leave me alone. But did 4 runs on solid blues. First 3 runs, Ted. Clean.
Awesome.
We're parallel turning. We're getting some parallel skiing. There was very little pizzaing going on.
Nice.
The wedge was put aside, and we were starting to carve up some powder, buddy.
On an edge, huh? I love it.
Except for run 4 of the day, where started off perfectly, and my wife's cousin's fiance was kind of leading us around, and she was so nice and doing such a great job. And she was like, hey, this one, let's go a little steeper. Like, you can definitely do it. Like, cause she had been kind of watching me. She was like, you can definitely do it. And I was like, dang, you're right. Yeah, I definitely can. Go take a sharp left, take a right, take another sharp left. And I'm like, man, there's a lot of space over there. I'm just going to go over there, kind of stay out of people's way. I'm still a beginner. I go over this little thing, moguls.
Yeah.
And I just brain shut down, panicked, curled up in a ball, and just slid down the mountain for like a solid 100 feet. Skis both fell off. I got into those moguls, and I just was like, oh my God. I tried to get out as fast as I could. I got a little bit off the ground, and I was like, I'm just going to fold the ball here. I'm going to lay down. Both skis fell off. One got stuck like on the slope, so I had to hike back up and get it. And people were heckling me from the chairlift. It was
that's good. Awesome. Yeah, I'm not a moguls fan. Hate it. You have to like jump to turn. It's brutal. I'm glad you had a good time though. That's awesome. It's so much fun.
No injuries. We walked away unscathed. That's all that matters.
I'm telling you, man, after like if you don't do it often, like the people that live out there, just it's nothing but it's a leg workout. And late in the day, whenever you've been skiing a lot and you start to get some fatigue going on, some mistakes can be made.
I came down on Saturday after a few beverages, but I was like laser focused. I was like, I cannot fall. So like clean on the way down on Saturday. I was, whew.
That's awesome.
But okay. Well, that I did not expect to dive into that much skiing talk. Just a dynamic combo of softball and snow skiing talk there.
Winner of the week, OU softball was awesome. I'm glad they're back in season.
She looks like she is going to be, just an absolute star. And I'll say this, and this is something you and I brought up repeatedly when the name, image, and likeness stuff went in place. These OU softball players, they are going to be raking it in.
And gymnastics too. They have tons of followers on social media. Yeah, OU softball though, you're right, man. They are. I mean, there's some girls on there that are they're unbelievable. They really are.
We got to get Jordy Bahl on here, huh?
Yeah.
We'll work on that. All right. Who do you have as your loser of the weekend?
I'm not picking on them. I'm not. But it's OU men's hoops. If you got Kansas beat in their place, you got to finish it off. I know that's an incredibly difficult thing to ask, but they absolutely had them on the ropes and just
couldn't score.
No, late, just totally fell apart. Couldn't get anything going. And give Kansas some credit. They defended well late, defended the final shot pretty good. But man, they looked so good for such a big part of that game. And then what was it, like a 15-4, something like that run late by Kansas? That was frustrating, watch them fall apart like that.
Yeah, just could not put the ball in the basket. I thought that Bill Self's decision to go with the Clemens kid, right? Yeah. The tall, and I'd completely forgot about him because he's missed a ton of time for them, but I thought he did a much better job on Groves in those situations, kind of bothering him in the pick and pop stuff that was working really well for OU early in that game. And you can't have those scoring droughts at Allen Fieldhouse. You just can't have it. And that all being said, I mean, Goldwire's shot goes in. I mean, maybe they get it done in overtime. I mean, who knows? But yeah, I'm with you, especially with Abaji having the off day he had.
Yeah.
It really felt like they should have won that game. And after what they did, remember we recorded early last episode, so we didn't get to give them their praise for beating Tech by 15 at home. So we haven't complimented them in essentially a month.
I know it.
So they had that awesome win against Tech where they just completely dominated the second half of that game, and Tech looked all out of sorts. If they would have been able to go 15-point win against Tech in Norman and then tack on a win at Allen Fieldhouse, I mean, damn, that would have been sweet. But you're right. It was there and they just couldn't finish the job.
And I was tightened up a little bit too.
I was watching that in a bar. I was screaming at the television and I had my OU beanie on and everything. And I had formed a community of people that I had convinced to cheer for OU, and it was going really well. And then it all fell apart.
Well, I don't know. It's a tough loss. It would have been an awesome win, but it's good to see signs of life. I'm not going to be the, take a moral victory out of that or anything, but we've seen some signs of life. The nice win against Tech. They looked good in really big stretches against Kansas. And what is it? Is Texas number 20 that they play on Wednesday? Number 20 ranked Texas. So it's another tough game, but it's an opportunity that you can go win and get a nice win. And if you can put some of these pieces together, I think they're capable.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I expect them to beat Texas on Tuesday. I really do. Softball, OU basketball, man, we got a lot going on. There's a lot going on right now. But if you are a whiskey or bourbon drinker, stop what you're doing. Head to your favorite liquor store and buy some Balcones products. You got to grab some of Balcones Lineage Single Malt Whiskey. It was just voted one of the top 20 whiskeys in the world by Whiskey Advocate, and you'll be shocked by how affordable it is. Also, you got to snag some of Balcones Baby Blue Corn Whiskey.
It's made from the blue corn. That's the fancy corn.
And that is why it has won more than 25 awards. Last but certainly not least, you got to buy some of Balcones Pot Still Bourbon. Its big flavors make it the perfect bourbon to drink year-round. In 2012, Balcones Single Malt won the Best in Glass competition, beating brands like Johnnie Walker and Macallan. It became the first American distillery to win the competition. This stuff is the real deal, people. If you love great whiskey and bourbon at a great price, then Balcones products are the only way to go. The whiskey may be made in Texas, but the owners are from Oklahoma. To find a liquor store that has it, visit balconesdistilling.com. But make sure you bank. This one, you do this
Sorry.
one. It's okay.
First Fidelity Bank is a full-service financial institution based in Oklahoma with tailored solutions for all of your personal and business needs. Checking accounts, saving accounts, home loans, and much more. They do it all, whether it's online banking from your computer or mobile banking from your phone. Everything is stress-free with FFB. Making mobile deposits, paying bills online, and moving money to different accounts could not be easier. First Fidelity Bank also provides free ATMs worldwide, making banking convenient wherever you are. They also give back to the community. FFB donates a total of more than $500,000 to local charities and educational foundations. Make your life easier and go bank at First Fidelity Bank. Visit ffb.com for more information.
So for my winner of the weekend, LA Rams. My loser of the weekend, Cincinnati Bengals. Let's talk some Super Bowl, Ted. What'd you think?
I thought it was a good game. I really did. Lower scoring, especially there in the first half. I thought Cincinnati, for the most part, until kind of late, did a good job protecting Joe Burrow at times. They hit on some nice big plays. Defensively, they defended really well until late there. But I thought all around, just viewing it as like the biggest game of the year, I thought I thought it delivered with excitement, big plays, good defense. It was a good watch.
Yeah, I'm with you. So some observations from this game. Thought Zach Taylor was a little conservative with the play calling early. That's completely understand. I thought Joe Burrow would have played better. I know it's hard to criticize the guy, especially in the second half when he was just being assaulted by that Rams defensive line. But I expect him. I don't know why I expected him to be like flawless, but he was a little shaky at times. And I didn't see that coming. And maybe I should have. He's a second-year quarterback playing in the damn Super Bowl, but I don't know. Just like we built him up. It was every conversation I had about the Super Bowl, like heading into this game, was like, man, I like the Rams, but I really don't want to bet against Joe Burrow. By the way, he covered.
Yep.
But he wasn't as I don't know. He just wasn't as sharp as I thought he was going to be. And it's hard to be sharp when you got that much pressure on you. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I agree with that. It was weird. I thought Cincinnati was going to win the game the entire time until that 4th and 1, the ball hit the turf. I thought they were going to, I personally thought they should have let the Rams score earlier whenever they got down inside the 1 and, they ran the sneak and they had to call a timeout. Like, I don't know what you're doing right now. You're costing yourself time. And they kept going back to Zach Taylor. I think that's what he was thinking about because he looked really stressed there. I felt pretty confident they were going to punch one in. You just need to give yourself a little bit more time. But yeah, I thought Burrow was good. He made a couple of just unbelievable throws, but I think what happened, late is I don't care who you are. When the pressure's getting there like it started to, the clock in your head is just off, and it's hard to deliver whenever you do have a clean pocket. You're always trying to find a way to escape instead of being on time and on target.
I think we officially owe Odell Beckham Jr. an apology. He was going to dominate that game until he blew his knee out, which we all can acknowledge. That's what happened. But had that nice touchdown early, and I know that Cooper Kupp ends up being the star of the game-winning touchdown on. He was, he's the best receiver in the NFL this season. But I think Odell Beckham Jr. was going to have a massive Super Bowl. I really do, because I think they were going to try to take Kupp away a little bit, and he was going to have one-on-one opportunities like all night, and he blew his knee out. So I guess we'll never know. But that offense really slowed down for a while because, first of all, neither team could run the ball. I mean, certainly the Rams couldn't run the ball at all. And when he went out, that passing game suffered like in a big way. So we officially
Stafford was inaccurate during a big portion of that game.
Yeah, that ankle. If his foot slipped out at the very end, I thought he was going to break his ankle because Reeder fell on him, and anybody that's played against that guy, he is a massive, huge human being.
Yeah, well, that was one annoyance from me was Collinsworth, which, he doesn't necessarily have to know, but when it comes to coverage, he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about at all. Zero. Not at all.
When it comes to offensive line play, he has no clue what he's talking about.
I don't know if he has a clue about anything, honestly. But it wasn't that big of a deal, but he kept talking about how, like, all the double coverage. They didn't double Cooper Kupp one time. Not once. Not, at least not that I saw. So at the end of it, he's talking about double coverage. You had the Mike backer on him. Whenever he was inside when they got the pass interference call, which I thought was a bad call, but
wasn't a fan of that call either.
Yeah. If you got a zone coverage, you have underneath defenders and you have over top defenders. That's not double coverage. But that's just a small annoyance. Doesn't really matter, but yeah, Odell going out, it felt like it took some of their big play away, and maybe it felt like they had a big part of their game plan built towards attacking him or not attacking him, but going with him. And whenever he was out, like maybe it limited quite a bit what they were able to do.
No, I'm with you. Some other things that happened in that game. Johnny Hecker just dropping the ball on the extra point on the hold.
Yeah.
What? That was now at that point, right? The Rams score, I think that was the Cup TD, and they're up 13-3. They're about to kick the extra point. It felt like it was entering a danger zone for the Bengals, right? Where you're like, okay, if they don't go here and answer, but that's when they went all the way down. Mixon throws the touchdown pass, which was pretty sweet.
That was awesome. Yeah.
Is he the only OU player to ever throw a touchdown in the Super Bowl?
Yep. Think so.
That's
At least
sweet.
if I go off of the multiple reports that I saw on Twitter during the game.
What I saw on Twitter, so I choose to believe it.
Right. No, that was really cool. But you're right. That was well, that ended up costing everyone that bet on the Rams their push.
Correct. I would say there's not a lot of Johnny Hecker fans out there right now. Or I guess if you bet on the Bengals, yeah, you love, like, Johnny Hecker's your favorite guy in the world right now.
Which is kind of interesting. Can you imagine how big of a letdown it is if you had the heaviest bet football game of all time is a push?
just everyone's like, oh, okay. Okay. This was maybe the play of the night. Stafford throws the interception, right? Kind of the arm punt there late in the first half. And the Bengals has a guy that's inactive get a personal foul for running on the field. He was wearing flip-flops. He was wearing slides. What? Vernon Hargreaves, what was he doing?
I have no idea.
It was incredible.
I think they intercepted it, and maybe I walked out of the room or whatever, but I walked back in and they're showing him sitting on the bench on the sideline, and I was like, that dude does not look like he looks like he's in trouble.
And it kind of prevented them from trying to go get points before the half. Of just that guy. We'll see how long he's employed by the Bengals, I suppose.
I didn't see it, but what did Zach Taylor, how did he react?
They didn't really show any interaction between like him and the Stafford. They showed him on the field, and then they showed him looking horrified on the bench. I felt so bad for him. But what was he doing?
I have no idea. He just lost his mind, I guess, for a second.
And then we had the sequence to start the second half was insane. 75-yarder to T. Higgins, who, okay, someone explain to me, right? And I know Jalen Ramsey gave up some big plays in that game, but he's been a really good player for a really long time in the NFL. If a wide receiver face masks you to the ground to catch the ball, like, I don't understand. How was he just not losing his mind? He seemed awfully calm. I don't know if he didn't know what happened, like how he ended up on the ground, but it was very clear when they replayed it that T. Higgins face masked him to the ground. I have no clue how he wasn't just completely losing his mind on the officials.
I'm guessing he probably wasn't sure what happened, but I did see him talk about him grabbing his face mask a little bit, but I guess it's hard to know whenever you're in there, but I don't know. That was kind of surprising that they didn't call it in live action. I didn't see it at all until they went back to it. But yeah, I think all that stuff evens out, because I thought there was a couple of plays down later that I thought the Rams kind of got away with. That one where the backer was on, which he played a great game. The kid from Wyoming, he's a good player there. They called him on a pass interference. And then I don't know, that the penalty on Cooper Kupp in the back of the end zone, like the targeting or whatever, like that whole exchange was just weird to me.
I didn't like the holding call on it either.
Yeah, that was just weird.
This is one of the, think of this as a defensive player. You're around the goal line. It's the Super Bowl. And Cooper Kupp catches the ball in the end zone. You got to do whatever you got to do to dislodge the football.
Right. Yeah.
And it's not like he launched into his head. Cooper Kupp caught the game winner in the Super Bowl. I'm not sure he's going to remember catching it because he got blasted.
On the sideline, he did not look very enthused.
So I don't know, but what else is that guy supposed to do?
I don't know, but it's weird that he called it a dead ball, which I don't know how. I don't know.
I think he just called it unnecessary roughness. I think
called it
they
a
don't
dead
call
ball,
it,
though.
Yeah, they don't call it targeting. They just say unnecessary roughness.
But I don't know. I was confused at how it was a dead ball, but I don't know. It was a good game, but I totally thought Cincinnati was going to win it. I thought Joe Burrow was going to go down. I was like, here we go, man. This is what he does. And then that fourth down just ended so like anticlimactically, where he just kind of slings the ball, which I bet Zach Taylor's probably going to go back and be upset about it. But they tried the go ball there on, what was it, on second 1 or 2, and then
handed it to P. Ryan on third down.
Instead of just moving the chains, and trying to keep the drive alive, he took a shot on him.
Where was Joe Mixon on the last drive of the game?
I don't know.
He was on the sideline. Or P. Ryan was in the entire drive. Like, listen, we all love Samaje P. Ryan. He's a hell of a football player, but he's not Joe Mixon.
Yeah.
And I know Mixon had some troubles in protection, but dude, you got to go score. Joe Mixon's got to be on the field. I mean, he just has to be. Like, you can't be handing the ball to Samaje in that scenario and not Joe Mixon.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that just can't happen. Like, was he hurt? He better have been.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what was going on there.
Your Pro Bowl running back was on the sideline in that moment. Like, I was sitting there going, "Where's 28? Where's 20?" What?
And I kept thinking they were going to, because they kept going with that overload to where it forces the back to step up.
Oh, you mean the overload blitz that Collinsworth kept misidentifying, calling a 4-man rush and overload blitz? My head was about to explode listening to that guy talk about offensive line play. I mean, dude, it's an overload front, if you want to call it that. All they do is take a guy that is normally on the right side of the center and they put him on the left. It's still a 4-down structure. It's blocked the exact same and communicated the exact same way by the offensive line. It's very easy to deal with. And he was like, it's getting Donald one-on-ones. No, it's not. It didn't get him one-on-one one time. They were just sliding to it like you should.
Well, I kept thinking that they were going to start slipping that guy and dumping it like over the top whenever, because they got beat several times by that guy. So I thought they'd just slow him down, just go up there and try and work him on a little, not necessarily a screen, but just dump off of that guy whenever he was supposed to be running through him. So didn't get it going, but still good game. And I think Cincinnati they're set up to be good over the next couple of years. I feel like LA is about to blow that thing up.
Yeah, they got their title, right?
Yep.
I mean, and you look at the last drive of the game. First of all, 4th and 1 from your own 30 with 5 minutes to go. You still have all your timeouts. Pretty ballsy call.
Yeah, it was
from McVay.
I was sitting there. I was like, man, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know what I would do.
And you hand it to Cooper Kupp on a little speed sweep, like, okay.
Which the one thing that I thought from Collinsworth on that was great is because I remember the quick or whatever end around that we ran to Smallwood against Georgia, right? They got stuffed, and I think was that on 4th down. But he said It either works and you're great, or it doesn't and you're an idiot.
Yeah, that is very true.
And that's all I could think of is everyone still talks about that,
Yeah.
the end around to Smallwood.
Yeah, but handing it to a guy that arguably should have been the NFL MVP and handing it to Jordan Smallwood, it's not, we're not talking apples to apples. No
That's
offense to my
very
guy
true.
Smallwood. Love Smallwood. Great dude.
Very true.
But Matthew Stafford was brought to LA for that last drive, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why they gave up all that draft capital. That's why they made it happen. For him to be in that moment and put that drive together and go win a Super Bowl. And he did it. I mean, he did it.
Yep.
And the goal line fade actually worked.
Hey,
Talk about a play that doesn't have a great hit rate. I mean, nice little goal line back shoulder throw to Kupp. I mean, perfect throw.
God, what did Kupp end up with? Do you know off the top of your head?
Now I can look it up real quick.
He caught like the last 20 passes itself.
He was, I mean, that last drive was like all him. He was 8 for 92 and 2 touchdowns.
I feel like he had way more than 8 catches.
Well, the last couple were the most impressive because he probably didn't know where he was.
Hammered. Got 2 touchdowns, 2 for 1. That's not how you want it.
Yeah, no kidding. But so a couple final random thoughts. The Super Bowl logo not being at the 50-yard line was messing with my brain the entire game.
Me too.
I'd be like, oh, they're at midfield. And I'm like, nope, they're at the 20. What? I get the
Same
shield
thing.
was in the middle, but it was really playing with my mind that Super Bowl 56 logo was not in the middle of the field. I hated it. It messed with me the entire game.
I had the same problem. Very same problem. What'd you think of the halftime show?
Loved it.
I did too.
I think anyone like my age to your age, like, that was okay. Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, I thought Mary J. Blige was awesome. Eminem, Kendrick Lamar. Like, I thought it was a little weird that Ice Cube wasn't in it, right? With the LA thing. I thought that was odd. I don't know what was going on there, but we all made the same 50 Cent joke, right?
What was that?
So if you remember the original Into Club video, he's hanging upside down like that, right?
Okay.
But he's shirtless and jacked in the original video. And I think we all made the same joke. Like 50 Cent looks like, more of a full dollar now or something. Like we all had some version of that line, right? It was like, that made him so winded. He like never caught his breath after it. He was like struggling through it. Right.
Yeah.
He looked like he was straining, man.
Oh, that was funny. That was good. I
thought the show was very, very good though.
I thought it was great. I laughed. I don't know who it was, but I saw someone on Twitter that said, we were all thinking the same thing, that finally, they don't have like a Paul McCartney or something. They play something for the younger people, and everyone's like looking around like, oh wait, we're not young anymore.
we're actually getting kind of old.
It was good though, man. I really enjoyed it.
No, I thought it was good. My last thing, I could not believe NBC zoomed in on Sean McVay's call sheet that closely.
I didn't see that.
I mean, dude, you could read it. Like you could read the plays. Like straight up, they zoomed all the way in on it. I was like, someone's getting fired. I can guarantee that.
What was it like from behind him looking over his shoulder, or was it like on the
straight on?
Of his...
He had it. He was covering it, and he had plays on the backside, and they zoomed in so tight you could read the calls. You can see which ones he had highlighted, and they were handwritten too. I was like, oh, someone's fired.
Well, he's a West Coast guy. Did you see a Spider 2Y banana on there?
Dude, there's always a Spider 2Y banana in there. Come on.
Oh, that's good.
I couldn't believe it. And the commercials, crypto commercials, like crypto commercial after crypto commercial after crypto commercial. So many crypto commercials. I like the Larry David one. It made me laugh. Larry David just makes me laugh though.
That's really the only one that I remembered being good. I didn't see a whole lot of them, but that one was great.
Yeah.
That's the perfect role for him too.
He's just so funny. But overall, solid game. it got kind of ugly there in, late third, early fourth, where it was like, oh my gosh, the defenses are just killing. Like it, I was like, this kind of sucks for a little bit, but fun ending. And I wish Burrow would have been able to make it a little more suspenseful, get down there and see what they could do. But yeah, good game though.
No, it was entertaining, and they earned it. Rams earned it. I didn't know Aaron Donald had talked about retiring after this. Did you hear that?
I saw that, but it would be very surprising if the best defensive player in the sport retired in his prime.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't even wait to see who got the MVP.
MVP Super Bowl. Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
He's not even going to remember it. Poor guy.
I heard I got Super Bowl MVP one time.
Oh my gosh. I hope he's all right. I'm kind of joking about that, but like also I wouldn't be that surprised. He did get popped straight in the dome. So
yeah,
probably shouldn't be laughing about it. It's serious.